Fred Arnold, mortgage professional of American Family Funding, a division of American Pacific Mortgage Company. And today I want to talk to Fred Krieger about VA loans and helping the veterans out. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Fred.
I like this subject. I like it so much because veterans fight for our freedom so that every day we can do what we do and we can, have the beautiful life we have. And one of the benefits that our country's created for veterans is the VA home loan. Tell us about the VA home loan.
Thank you, Fred. And that you hit it right up, nail on the head. That's one of the reasons why both you and I enjoy doing these loans so much. It's almost as if we're kind of giving back, saying kind of a thank you.
Yeah, just our little part to give back to them.
Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, the great part about a VA loan, anybody is eligible who has served in the military. So it could be anyone who is active duty, could be anybody in the reserves, retired, etc. There is no expiration of this VA loan. And one important thing that we always tell people, because unfortunately I just went through this, is that DD-214 that I know anybody who's watching this video knows what it is.
What a DD-214
right?
is. The rest of the population won't, but the veterans will.
Right. They make sure they have that because they can reuse this benefit over and over again. That's another myth. People think that they can only use this VA benefit once. They can use it over and over again throughout their entire lifetime.
So as they sell a home or refinance a home, they can buy another one in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's sold as one of the top benefits when you get out of the military or when you're in the military.
Right, exactly. And that's one of the things that we want to point out, especially during what's called transition. So when people are coming out of active duty into retired or reserve, we want to make sure that this is one of the most important benefits that people look at and our veterans look at when they actually are moving out of active duty. Because again, at the end of the day, and we're going to go into this, is that the ages between 20 and 40, there's over 3 million veterans in between those two age groups. And if you think about that, that is the prime lending, age group right now in the United States, right?
Yep, and they've all given back, and now we're trying to give something to them. 3 million individuals, and mostly because we just, we've had the war on terror, Afghanistan, and so many that have served in Iraq, and they're coming back to get that benefit. What is the benefit of this loan program compared to most programs?
Right, and this is the key point that we really want to hit really quickly. It's zero down payment, which means there are no funds needed for a down payment. There is no private mortgage insurance or no mortgage insurance that's placed on the loan. There's also no prepayment penalty. So even if the veteran decides to pay it off, or let's say they get the loan and maybe they go back onto active duty 6 months later, there's no prepayment penalties on this whatsoever. And it's assumable. And that's a word that here in the mortgage industry we have yet to hear for so many years. But a VA loan is assumable, which means is that once the veteran receives a VA loan on this particular property and sells it, he could sell it to another veteran and they can assume that loan. Let's say it's in 10 years. Let's say right now the interest rates are in the mid 3% range. They sell it off in another 5 or 6 years and the interest rates are next 7. That veteran gets that loan rate in the 3% range. That's amazing for me to think about that.
Great opportunity for someone to take advantage of that and a great benefit of a VA loan. But also, there's something in this industry called mortgage insurance. When you put very little to no money down, you have to pay mortgage insurance.
Correct. And that's one of the great parts about a VA loan. There is no mortgage insurance that's put on it. Now, there is what's called a small funding fee that gets financed into the loan. But again, there's no upfront mortgage insurance and there's no monthly mortgage insurance. All you're doing is paying what is owed on the property.
The one thing that many don't think of is the seller could pay closing costs.
Right, and that's one of the great parts about even a VA loan. And one of the benefits of that, and let's think about it, is that why would a VA loan make sense for certain people? And I think there's a statistic out there that less than 5% of the loans originated today are VA. I mean, think about that. With that many veterans that are out there, they need to be taking advantage of these types of loans. And so one of the great benefits of why someone would want to get into a VA loan, well, let's face it, probably really low down payment because they haven't been saving. Let's face it, for people who are in active duty, it's not their #1 goal right now to save for a house, but they're now back.
Yeah, they definitely might not have had a cash flow because they take a little bit less income to serve our country. So things have been challenging for them. And in some cases, Fred, they have maybe a bankruptcy or some challenges in the past. How does VA look at that?
So basically looking at marginal credit. So they will look at that type of credit and not necessarily use that particular. Now, let's face it, someone who's on active duty, they haven't had the opportunity to take out a car loan, take out a credit card, et cetera, so they haven't been able to build up that credit. And even after 2 years, if someone had a bankruptcy, they had a foreclosure, or even a short sale, they can get a VA loan under this program. And someone who's even collecting disability, let's just say that you have a disabled veteran that's collecting disability, they can qualify for this loan. And in some factions, that funding fee that I was talking about is completely waived.
And we see that a lot with, let's say, a disabled veteran, either man or woman, and their spouse is working as a teacher or fireman or working, earning household income, and of course they're getting disability for their injury.
Right.
And there is no funding fee, which is another advantage to a VA loan.
Right. And I'm glad that we brought this up. And again, kind of in the beginning, this is kind of our way, Fred, of kind of giving back to the veterans, because we do so much for them here in Santa Clarita Valley. This is one other aspect that we want to give back.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that, Fred. Appreciate it. Appreciate you sharing that. If you'd like to get more information, go to AFFloans.com, American Family Funding, AFFloans.com, or call our office, 661-284-1150, and there'd be no better honor than us being able to serve you as a veteran in the United States military. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.